Hi, Bill Henshaw here again. More current events, and you've likely seen this on the internet, where the Donald has recently come out in favor of mandatory voter ID on quote unquote election day. That's a bit of a surprise to me because supposedly being a conservative Republican, he should understand the voter ID he's talking about. All of it emanates from your application for Social Insecurity benefits. Now, 20 odd years ago, when I rescinded mine, when I found out the truth about what goes on there, and I sent certified mail and I says, I'm through here, this number's gone. Well, I got a letter back from the Commissioner of Social Security, which you'll get when you get my materials, Constitutional Defense Document Package. Send me an email at uwinnincourt@gmail.com. I have the Commissioner of Social Security saying, you're right, it's voluntary. And she's right. All you have to do is look at Title 42, Section 302A8. And when you do that, by the way, if you have an annotated book on Title 42, notice the last time I looked, there were no court decisions on this law. And think about that. Why wouldn't there be? Law has been on the damn book since 1935. 85 years later, there's no court decisions. Why? Because they know that's a big loser, because we're right, they're wrong. And when you get into Social Security, among other things that happens is that you effectively, albeit they don't tell you, sub silentio is what it's called legally, that you're accepting the birthright citizenship of the 14th Amendment, that you've now become a quote-unquote taxpayer, to whom this, by the way, the Supreme Court said can be taxed out of existence without any apparent need for an administrative hearing. Cases Enochs v. Williams, Enochs versus Williams, no, Enochs versus United States, 370 U.S. 1. The Supreme Court actually said this. And if you look at Section 4 of that 14th Amendment that no one ever does, they all want the benefits and the citizenship and all that crap, you find out that Section 4 says that the validity of the public debt of the United States authorized by law shall not be questioned. Therefore, as a quote-unquote taxpayer, you've given them complete, total power over your entire life, your family, everything. They don't tell you any of that. It gets worse. When you're a quote-unquote taxpayer, they have a law, 26 U.S.C. 7408D, I think, that says that you can be found for all jurisdictional purposes in the District of Columbia, not in a state judicial district. The federal IRS laws would not apply there and don't apply there. If your residence, quote unquote, is in the District of Columbia, they got you. Now you're a taxpayer, you own whatever it is they claim you owe, and there's no argument about it. And yet what they're doing is taking your property in the form of your time and labor without judicial process. And we have a constitution that identifies that as a bill of attainder under Article 1, Section 9 or Section 10. The problem is you get into their system, and the IRS operates on the principle that a taxpayer has a zero interest in his time and labor, not to mention his life. They own you. You're chattel property of the de facto National Socialist government. You might as well be a slave like everybody was 150 years ago when they tried to enact the Reconstruction Act and the 14th Amendment. There's been no change in status. They just covered it up more nicely. So the whole thing is a mess, and Trump ought to know all of this. He doesn't have advisors that don't know this? Damn. So like I said, by the way, if the election, again, as I said in other videos, if it was for the CEO of the trust known as the United States, no problem. The problem they have is that you don't belong to it and I don't belong to it, and they have no authority over us. For the office of the President of the United States, it's a different matter altogether. Anybody is entitled to run for that office and get elected to it. And that's one of the bases for a Republican form of government, that every member of the sovereign body politic is entitled to run for any office they want. That's a huge big deal when you get into court and make that type of argument, rather than this 14th Amendment due process crap and all this good stuff that they want you to go in there and raise, and the right to assistance of counsel. It's all crap, people. Don't do it. You'll learn from getting my materials. You will learn what to do and what not to do. So this whole thing, wow, if that's all we have in the way of voters, and bear in mind, if we're in, and my claim is we have no states. If we're in territories, there's no elections for president anyway. So what's the problem with requiring ID for elections that don't exist? Whoa, just something more to think about. Meanwhile, remember to like my videos, tell your friends, and subscribe. Thank you.